Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Emily,
I'm Joan of Heart.
and it's just a LaCroix. If you're listening to this, there's a video version on Spotify and YouTube, and I just cracked
Yes.
a can into the mic before I made it live.
You cracked a cold one.
Mhm. But we are back from NAMM. I don't think anyone we know got COVID, so already an improvement on last year's NAMM.
Yay! My greatest fear did not happen.
I know. Well, we recorded the podcast last week on the second day of the event,
Yes.
our third day there, and kind of early. So there was still a lot to be seen, a lot to have experienced. So we thought we would take this time to kind of share our thoughts on some of the other things that happened, and they were cool. Like for example, the people who own T-Rex have created this Benson Echo Rec, like a new one, but based on the old one, but better than the old one. It's $2,100, which for like something that's obviously meant for a studio, I thought it was going to be more expensive. Obviously, that's still a lot of money, but
No,
for
yes.
for what it is, a fraction of the cost of the old ones and actually works.
Yeah. No, I mean, I walked by it. I took some video, but I had wished that I actually got a moment to play it. I know you did. So that's I was just like, "Oh, I hope we talk about it because that thing was amazing." I was like,
Yeah.
regardless of the price tag, I was like that thing is just like yeah, even like the T-Rex and just watching the fact that physically they're there.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really cool. Surprisingly intuitive. I don't know why, I just thought it would be kind of there's so much over-engineered stuff these days
Yeah, there
that
is.
it's easy to, expect that something's not going to just be, like, make sense under your
Mhm.
fingertips, and it really did, but I wasn't even gonna walk over there, but I was talking to Mallory from Reverb. She's the one who, did the whole unmanned mission thing with,
Nice. Yeah.
so that was really cool. And she actually came up with the name of that too, which I thought was awesome. But yeah, we were walking around. She's like, "I really wanna go check that." I'm like, "Me too." That sounds really
Let's
awesome.
go.
Mhm. Yeah, so, I mean, the last day took it a little bit easier. Well, it was our last day. Neither of us went on the Saturday.
No, no, I think it was Haley from Rocket Music, and she was like, "Oh, going today?" I was like, "I've already been there 3 days, Haley." Like, I I have seen as much as I could, and the body is just telling me no today.
Yeah, I think I like the way that we did it. We
I do too, yeah.
we're traveling all the way to Anaheim. I don't wanna spend most like, the whole day every
In the
day and
convention, yeah.
exactly. So we, we'll get back to the last day of NAMM later.
The
Personally,
Saturday,
I
yeah.
don't remember a lot from it. The last day was kind of I was already tired, but Saturday, some of our friends had an event off campus and we went to
Yes.
that basically for lunch.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was the, Effector Market, and, got to see, the guys from Opaled Noise Endeavors, there was Maris there, there was, let me
Empress,
see, Empress was there, Chase Bliss was there,
Ron Snyder from
mm,
Electronic Audio Experiments
yep,
was there.
he was there as well, and,
Hmm.
yeah, I got
Philippe
to play
Herndon
some
from Caroline, did you already say that?
Caroline, yep.
Yeah, it was my first time meeting Philippe, and immediately he gives me this big bear hug and picks me up off the ground, and a lot of you know, if you've watched this podcast before, but he sponsored the refinish of my
Oh, that's
Gatlinburg
awesome.
Fever Dream B-Bender. We both got the same gold, and he has a Strat style, and we called him the Golden Girls, and he brought his. He brought his Golden Girl, so I got to
Aw.
play it, and he said he didn't have to tune that thing one time. Yeah, we were talking about G&Ls, and it's just like they're not cool. Let's not ever pretend they're cool, but they are phenomenal. Like their higher end stuff, especially phenomenal. He's had this Strat style since I think the 90s, and he's just like that thing, it just doesn't go out of tune. It plays great, it felt really cool, it sounded great. Wild guitar. Man,
Nice.
it's just a farce. More people don't play them really, but
No, I haven't. Yeah, I don't typically see them like in any of the stores, so I haven't been able to try one out.
yeah, that's part of the problem. You can find them real cheap at pawn shops usually, which is a shame. They were actually G&L was on a list of, like, guitars with the worst resale value.
Really?
Yeah, and they seem, if I remember correctly, they're probably one of the bigger names on that list and probably one of the more well-made instruments.
Hmm.
But I think they're more popular in certain regions, but, I don't know which ones. I think God, I feel like they might be kinda popular in Australia where it's impossible to get Fenders for an affordable price, which is, weird, but the truth.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Effector Marketplace, you got to meet, some of your people you talk to a lot and people I've talked to,
Yes.
but not as much as you have.
Yeah, I got to meet with Dan, chat with him for a bit. I got to talk with
Dan Stan
Seth.
from Old Blood Noise Endeavors.
Yes, on Blood Noise Endeavors. Brady, we talked for a little bit. But yeah, Dan is very tall. And I kind of knew this, but standing next to him, I really didn't know from the difference between my height. It was nice to have someone to look up to that day.
He is, like, 6'7" or
He's
something.
a,
I honestly didn't know he was that tall.
no.
Did you have any
No, I
idea?
didn't. No. I mean, even like when you see like on YouTube and stuff like that, you're like, I mean, it's everything I guess looks a little bit, the rooms look a little bit different as opposed to real life. So I mean, Dan fit perfectly, obviously in the frame of YouTube, he couldn't really tell, how tall he was in relative to
Yeah.
everyone else. Um but
I
yeah,
think
apart from
everybody
that,
kinda ends up looking like whatever height you kind of expect them to be. I a woman I work with once said she thought I would be like 5'2". I'm like, I'm 5'7".
wow. Yeah, I think I heard maybe a few people say that they thought I would be a little taller. And I was like, no, I am small. I am very like I'm very forward in the fact that I am small.
Yeah, that's cool. I I know lots of small people, it's fine.
It's all
I've
right.
got
It's all right. There's lots of
my
little people, we all work together.
Yeah, so, it was really cool to talk to John Snyder from EAE, which is actually kinda hard to say, and play some of his pedals. Obviously, I
Halberg,
demoed yeah,
Halberg, yeah.
I demoed the Halberd, back when the V1 came out, and this was my
Mm.
first time playing with the V2. I was like, "God damn it is so much better."
It's
It's
the first
so
time I
good.
ever played it in general, yeah, because 'cause I've heard everyone talk so much about it and how good it is, and I was like, as soon as I walked up on the job, I was like, "Oh, I'm going straight for that one first, because that's always what I hear people talk about. I played the longsword, friend lend it to me, and I like that, but yeah, I really wanted to at least hear that one, and yeah, it is everything that everyone said. It sounded so, so good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love that overdrive so much.
Mhm.
I put it on my Sunday Crush board, and the reason it doesn't make it to like the secondary boards I do for one-off gigs is because I just it belongs on that board and it belongs on my main board. I'm not going
You
to be
stay
pulling it
here, you
off.
go nowhere else.
Exactly, and I've been complimented on that tone a lot. So
Nice.
A plus pedal. Gotta say, the original still great. The new one, just Uh, yeah, just one of the best overdrives I think I've ever played. And he had a lot of other cool stuff on his board that I hadn't been able to check out, and he has something new, and he was showing me all the sounds on that, and, it is extremely impressive, the new pedal. Just like he had some, like, MIDI presets or something he was going through them. I'm like, I don't know how you get one pedal to make all these different sounds, but he does. He does a really good job at it.
Oh, yeah. No, I played quite a few, pedals on that that pedal board, and yeah, the Dude Incredible was great too. Yeah, I just pretty much went like, "What does this do? What does that one do?" It was really great. He really does really incredible job.
Yeah.
Um, the other one that I was able to try when I went over the Empress booth that I really appreciated being able to try, was the, reverb and the, delay of the
Oh,
big box for
yeah.
the yeah, those ones, I was just like I know a lot of people compare the 2, of course, like, if you don't have, like, a Strymon, big box, like, the Empress was the other ones that kind of as far as sound quality and whatnot that people love, that was the other, brand or variety of pedals that people usually gravitated to. So I was like, okay, let me try these out. And I know it's dangerous for me too. So I ended up trying both the reverb, and yeah, I loved everything I heard out of them. I mean, even like the presets that they had, and each preset had like more than one even presets in
I
each mode.
know. It's like
And I
each
thought that
yeah,
was
each mode had 3 settings, yeah.
yeah,
At
and it
least
was one was
3.
like analog yeah, it was like analog, digital, like it was kind of like, each one was segregated by that with, I guess, the algorithm and how it affected that, it was really great. I had a lot of fun, and I think I probably spent a lot of time there. And we were both basically chatting and, finding some great sounds on all of them. But I
Yeah.
eventually, made it over to the Chase Bliss booth, which was great because I finally got to play a little bit of the new Mood, which was really great.
Yeah, sorry, I did just yawn off camera. I'm very tired. I have
It's
not
okay, it's
stopped
okay.
since we got back
Yeah,
from
I haven't either.
NAMM, and I had to wake up early. We're recording this later in the day because I had to wake up
Yeah,
early
night.
for a
Yeah.
9 a.m. band rehearsal for a gig I have on May 5th, and I thought it was gonna be my only rehearsal with them. So I was up real late the night before, like, getting the songs down, then I was up real early, and I'm so tired. I
You're like,
walked
"Can we do later?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah, so, but yeah, you played the Mood Mark II. I didn't even do that. So can you tell me about the stereo spread? I've kind
Oh,
of avoided demos because I kinda wanted to play it first, and then I just didn't get around to it.
they had it, in mono, but, I mean,
Oh,
as far
really?
as, like yeah, they had it in mono.
Oh, my bad.
Um,
I
That's
didn't even get
fine, no
over to there. I
worries.
didn't get over to their board.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, there was so much. I mean, and even, like, with each booth that I went to, because I played I think a major I kind of hit almost every I think I hit everyone except Caroline. But I kind of also, like, talked, we tried things and stuff, so I engaged in each one, so I felt like I was playing more than I was socializing at some point. Because it's me, it's like, "Pedals, hello, sorry, the world doesn't exist."
Yeah, and, like, at the same time, we knew we only had, like, 3 hours
Yeah.
there. We got there early to eat. By the
Yep.
way, it was at a place called Windsor Brown's, and that sandwich was amazing. Mine
I
was
got
great.
the I think mine was the BLT variety, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. Yours had a lot of lettuce on it.
Oh, yeah, no, I was eating a full garden of, but great, like a rabbit, I like sandwich is great.
Yeah, I got a veggie sandwich, and it was so, so good. I'm like, "Man, sandwiches shouldn't be this delicious." Ugh.
And be
I
so
can't
far away.
I wish I could make sandwiches like that at home, but, then
Yeah.
at a point, our partners pulled us away and shuffled us into a lift because, they support
Yes.
us, but that the NAMM thing is extremely not Rick's jam. I can speak for Rick.
I would say at one of the points where we were at a event or gathering, I looked over and I saw both Carlos and Rick at, like, the table together, and I
That was
was
Saturday, I remember seeing them,
it
and then
was.
I was like, "I wanna stay a little bit longer."
Yeah, they were both at the table, and I was like, "Oh, this is like the trophy husband's table." They just sit
I
together and entertain.
Rick the thing is Rick knows some of the people there, like, he talked to Haley for a while, and, he really likes the guys from Scythe Guitars, Mark
Oh,
and
yeah, those guys were
Sean.
great. At one
Yeah.
point, I think we were, like, singing, like, Kansas for a bit. It was funny.
Oh my god, there was a lot of singing that night,
There
but,
was.
they wanted to find karaoke at a bar so badly.
Aw. I would
Them
I
and
would love that.
Charles Henry and Ryan from Demos in the Dark and Kai Brewster. Yeah, so we talked about Kai's name tag already, but,
Yep.
no, hanging out with them is great, and I forget if it was Sean or Mark that Rick was talking to. My husband's from Missouri, they're in Kansas City,
Hmm.
and, they had a mutual friend.
Oh my
It's
god, what a
it
small world.
it's a small state. Like, so my husband grew up in Columbia, Missouri. This is gonna be very, very exciting for the Midwestern contingency of this podcast audience. But yeah, my husband grew up in Columbia. I forget which side of brother. I'm sorry, I just don't remember. I think it was Sean. Uh, had worked at the downtown Shakespeare's Pizza, and that is the Shakespeare's Pizza where I got very drunk on like $5 Hendrix and tonics and went back to the hotel and bought a bunch of pedals and a stuffy from Pelican Noiseworks at like 10 or 11. It wasn't even that late. We were going to my sister-in-law's wedding the next day.
Oh my god. Well, that's definitely a story.
It is a story. It is a story indeed. But then I saw Charles at the airport. We hung out at my gate for a while.
Oh shit, that's good. Actually, a pretty nice coincidence.
It was. I was walking around playing Pokemon Go in the airport, and I look up and it's Charles, and we start talking. He's like, "Do you wanna hang out?" I'm like, "Yeah, my gate's like 5 feet that way."
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really
Were
cool.
you teaching him the ways of Pokemon going?
No, I don't even remember what we talked about, which is how you know it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like when you can really, like, make a checklist later of everything you talked about in a conversation, it means that you probably had to think about things to talk about
In
during that
between, yeah.
conversation. That's my take on it. But, yeah, so we did play Pokemon Go at Downtown Disney with our partners,
Yes.
and, that was a lot of fun. It was a Togetic Community Day,
Yes, it
and,
was.
I had not been to Downtown Disney in Anaheim before, so it was pretty cool to go to that.
Yeah, no, it was my first time too, and, we walked around, it was actually pretty nice, and, the weather was not as blistering cold
It was
in the
hot.
sun.
It was hot in the sun. It was
Yeah, in
no,
the
it was
sun, it
not, it
was
was
good,
comfortable.
I felt a little bit warmer in the sun, but in the shade, I was freezing.
Well, at least you had your NAMM sweater.
Yes, the NAMM sweater that didn't have any pockets and didn't
Yeah,
have any
what the
drawstring.
fuck? Joe and
And
Carlos Joan and her partner both got NAMM zip-up hoodies. They seemed to be the same product when we were
yeah,
buying them, but
same
Joan's
price and
came from the
everything.
women's section, Carlos's came from the men's section. His had more features.
Yes, it's a regret. We
No
one of
pockets.
none at all.
No, no
None.
pockets in a zip-up hoodie.
Yeah, I was one of the nights that we were walking from, like, one of from dinner, and it was, like, what, a 20, 40-minute walk, and it was
Oh my
freezing,
god,
and with the
it was
wind
too long to
gust.
walk, we shouldn't have been walking.
But, like, the hoodie that I couldn't pull closed was acting like a parasail, so I couldn't put my hands in my pocket, so I was holding it over my head
Oh,
and putting it under my head like it was one of those old, like, old women.
oh my god.
And yes, looked really pitiful.
You know, for some reason, the night before, when we had walked back with Andy Pitcher, it didn't
Yes.
seem that bad, but I also think we had had a lot more alcohol.
Yeah, a little warmer.
It's a little
No,
warmer.
I was still cold.
I'd
No,
had
I
a
was
couple
so
drinks at the
cold.
bar. Yeah, I'd had a couple drinks at the bar on the first night walk, and we basically made the same walk the next day, and I don't know, I think maybe it just we're less excited, we were tired already.
Yeah.
We had
Are we
struck
there
out a
yet?
few times on dinner, but figured it out
Yeah.
eventually. Man. Yeah, we went to this place called Puesto, and I guess I should have known better. It was right on the block with NAMM, but we get there like 8:30, and they say they're not taking, um, any more seating requests. They're open till, like, 11 or midnight.
Oh my god. Well,
And
I
I was
mean,
talking to somebody else who was waiting who we all know, and, he said he'd been waiting there for an hour and a half already.
I'd
I'm like, "They're"
wonder how long he'd been waiting. Wow.
yeah, they're good tacos, they're good margaritas, but damn, that was a long wait.
Jeez.
Mm. Well, we got to eat there. That was fun. We got to eat there when it wasn't so busy. Man, I am struggling to think of other things about NAMM. Oh, that Bono
Oh, yeah, the fake Bono,
impression.
and
Yeah, the
then
fake
the
Bono.
actual s yeah, the fake Bono that we were all pretty much speculating whether it was or wasn't, and I was like, I knew that it definitely wasn't because in the age difference, I was like, "This guy is a little bit younger," and,
His
like
hairline was wrong.
yeah, the hairline, I was just like but if it was a younger Bono and this guy showed up, he'd be pretty much I think he'd be passable for someone that isn't paying attention to Bono what he looks like now.
You know, I wasn't sure who I knew that it was, like, supposed to be Bono, so I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, that's Bono." But when I just looked at it, my first reaction was, "Who's that? Who is that?"
Was it like AI where you, like, look a little the certain details and then
No,
you're like,
honestly,
"Something's off?"
I just wasn't 100% positive what celebrity it was supposed to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe can you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. My husband's putting insulation in the walls right now, and I
Oh,
think
no.
something there's some noises. It's okay. It's okay. It wasn't like a loud thud or anything, so I think
Okay,
I'm
I was gonna
good.
say something scrambling on the walls to get away.
Oh, Jesus. Thankfully,
Hopefully
no.
not, hopefully not,
Hopefully not,
yes.
but we're finally getting our holes patched in our walls.
Yay,
Hooray! And then I'm getting a new bathroom for my birthday.
that's gonna be nice.
Yes, it will be nice. I'll be paying for it for a long time.
Oh, no. Yes, that's the drawback. That's the
It is.
drawback.
It is, but it's going to be worth it. I know my realtor is just, like, beside himself. Well, he would be beside himself if he knew we were taking out one of our 2 bathtubs and replacing it with a walk-in shower, but I'll be damned, I have to live here. I'm gonna
Yes,
make it the way I
yes.
like it, and with all of the work we've had done on this house, I'm gonna live here for a long time. God damn it. My tiny, tiny townhouse that is just filled to the brim. We're getting rid of some stuff, but, what did you do the last day of NAMM? I barely saw you. Oh, we saw Stevie Wonder at NAMM?
Yeah, I was about to mention Stevie Wonder, and I saw him twice. He was with a big entourage, and
Oh, yeah.
it was pretty funny to see, like, he would show up, and then a huge crowd would, like, circle around him, like, at a full, like, donut almost. And then, like, we caught him later walking by, like, a whole, like, you know, group that just followed like a trail as he passed by, and I was like, "Oh, look, the herd is on the move." Like, it just, like, passed in front of us randomly, and I think there was some other people that were like, "Was that the real Stevie?" I was like, "Yes." That's okay because after the Bono, everyone
Yeah.
was questioning everything.
That's the real Stevie. He's there every year. I yeah, I knew he was gonna be there, and I knew he was gonna stop by a specific booth because someone at
Mhm.
that booth had told me. So, I was really glad that I was there when he was and got to tell Rick, my husband, who's a big Stevie Wonder fan, to get his ass over
Aw.
to that booth
Run.
immediately. And did he? You were with him. Really? Aw. Aw, he's so cute. I had abandoned him for a while. I went off to film something that I
Yeah, we went to go find him. He was up in a second floor with Hondo, so we
Oh,
pretty much found
nice.
him. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he had company.
Good, and he said he just was texting me, he's like, "It's so quiet." Because I was
It
filming
was.
something, and then I went to the reverb booth and saw Mallory and walked around with Mallory for a while, and then I saw, Mark, Sean, Kai, and Charles, and walked around with them for a second, and, just couldn't be just you just keep running into people, and then you talk to them, and then you
Yeah,
find
like,
other people, and you run into them, and you talk to
yep,
them.
that's exactly what happened. It was pretty funny. I was walking with, Hondo, I was walking with Charles, and then Jace no, Charles, uh, Johnny, Jason, and then also, yeah, Hondo, and at one point, we were
Johnny
just
from
walking.
Oakland Guitars?
Yeah,
The guitar
mhm.
store? Cool.
Mhm. Yeah, so we were all working together at some point, and we kept, like, bumping into people, and, like, our group started to, like, fan out and pick more of us up as we were walking the floor.
That
So
happens.
it was so it was pretty funny, and then some of us would break off at, like, a certain booth, like, "Ooh, I wanna check this out," and then we'd lose a few, and then I'm trying to find at one point I saw Haley at one of the, from Rocket Music, and she was over by, like, the banjo, and we were doing a whole flyby, "Hi, bye," and she's like, "Oh, hi," and we're like, "No, we're on our way to somewhere else. I'm sorry, I'll catch you later," and then, like, on the Friday before the end of the day, and I was like, "I am going to find you." So, like, I walked around and I intentionally found her. I was like, "I had to make sure I had some time with you because I missed you." So, we had, like, a few I saw her later, like, at the other, event that we went to too, but I was like, "I didn't know." So I was, like, trying to get
Yeah.
everyone. Meanwhile, also, like, I got, to see Dave on Blue Whitaker. He was over also at one of
I
the
missed
doing a demo thing.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a lovely, nice conversation, which was really great, and, then from there, I was getting caught up in, of course, the Death by Audio booth and playing
Yes.
the
Oh, yeah,
rooms.
got to meet
Yeah,
Heather and Oliver in
they
person
were
for the first
great.
time. They actually handed me The Disturbance.
Mhm.
Apparently set your calendars for May 25th. I'm pretty sure they posted that. But obviously, people have seen this. I'm pretty sure it's May. I need to check on that, but
I
it
think they
is
said May.
tray shiny.
It is
Ooh.
very chromy. It was like
You
you
can
took
you
a
can
photo
see
and it saw,
you can see
"Hey."
Joan in the reflection.
We're go It's like this little delay in the it's
That's
like I'm
fucking
8-bit.
weird. This is fucking weird. If
It's
you're
like
not
Donkey
watching the
Kong.
video version of this podcast, go into about 26 minutes, go over to YouTube, go to 26 minutes, and
It's so weird.
this is how we should do the podcast from now
We should.
on.
You don't have me here, you just have me in the pedal like I'm an 8-bit Donkey Kong.
Oh my god, I love it. You're like the genie in my pedal.
That's you, yes.
Oh my
Give me
god.
3 wishes.
I'm
Oh my god.
I didn't I don't think I'm high, but I
That
feel
reflection is yeah, 3rd dimension, like, it's working.
I did get some sodas from a company I like, but I'm not supposed to talk about them or I'll get
Oh, no.
demonetized,
Shh.
so
Shh. Shh.
yes, but, everyone knows this past week was the 20th of April, and
Mhm. Yes.
that kinda stuff is legal where I am, and
I'm on the medical spectrum, so I happen to have a card, and thank God.
oh my god, one of those parties we went to had those, like, low dose joints. I'm sorry, those low dose funny cigarettes, I don't know what to say, I don't care.
Yeah.
Demonetize me, god damn it.
Low
Um,
dose funny cigarettes, yeah.
those were honestly great. I really liked those. It was like a
Mhm.
lower dose pre-roll, so people people say today, "This stuff is too strong today," and they're probably right compared to what they were used to buying underneath the bleachers,
Yeah.
you know? But, it was fun. It
It was
lets you
mellow, it
pace
was great.
yourself. It felt more like drinking a beer than going to outer space.
Yes. No, it was actually good to see one of those there because it was like any kind of dispensaries or anything was not around Disney, which we were right next to, so of course, like, it's none in sight.
No, and, last time I was in California, I did delivery, but then I realized I was with Californians, and apparently you need a California license to get delivery from most of the places, so the more you know.
Womp, womp, womp.
I was just fine not having anything like that for a few days, but it was nice surprise. That party was intense, but, we're not gonna talk about it, but it was interesting. There were some cool people. Very cool
Mhm.
people,
Got
but I
full
got
full pretty quickly.
yeah, it was just really crowded, a really crowded event, but, got to catch up with some folk, but, I got to go to this little thing that Universal Audio had, and I got to play the Max, which is their preamp compressor,
Oh,
and I
nice.
think I'm in love with
LA2A, yeah.
yeah, that was so cool. That was so cool. Just take the red knob, turn it all the way up. You can use 2 compressors at once. It was sick. It was so cool. Like, they also had that ambient pedal that, um, has
Is that
both reverb and
the
delay.
the
Delverb?
late Delverb? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think they called it the Delverb.
I think it's the Delverb because I think I've
Yeah.
seen, like, T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yes. But yeah, the UA pedals are really cool. And I hope to check them out at some point. Hopefully by Gearfest. Last year they were at Gearfest and they had a board out and
I remember
um
that.
all that stuff. So I hope that all comes together this year.
That would
We'll
actually be pretty
see.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. UA, let's think. So we did that. God, there was just
Eventide was great too when we
oh
went
my
by there.
god.
I yeah,
We didn't
the,
talk about that. We didn't talk about that on the last week's
Nalia,
podcast.
you know,
Nalia.
I don't
Yeah.
yeah, Nalia was amazing. She was great, and, like, what do you call it? The, Tricera chorus,
Yes.
I am in love with that pedal, like, the fact that you can control the left, center, and right, like, independently in the stereo field, like, this is kind of a modulation pedal that I will gush about for quite a while. It is so, so good.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I'm familiar with the algorithms, but I like that .9 series. I think it's smart, and it like the H90, it solves the problem of I want more than one H9 without having to actually get an H9. So I think that was really smart. It's like we were talk. I'm sure we've talked about before how with like the strumming cloudburst, that seems like they might be thinking about
Separate.
picking up that model a little bit more. So
Hmm.
that just goes to show it's smart. Um, I like it. I obviously have demos for the Ultra Tap and the Black Hole, and I think one other.
Yeah, I use the, what do you call it? I think it was Craig that told me about when they had a sale on the site for the black hole like plugin.
Yeah.
So I've been using that like
Right.
on vocals and like even just as a plugin it's really great. I played I think at the booth I think I did play the one that they had there and yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, those are back ordered for a long time. Did
Yeah,
we talk?
everything.
Why do I feel like we talked about this last week? Maybe I just talked
Hmm.
about it with a lot of people. That's the other thing,
It's a
dude.
blur. I swear to God. Yeah, like it's yeah, I mean, I know some people said that it was smaller than obviously previous ones, but even for me, it being like a first time that I'd ever been there, I think the size are great, but still had moments where it was a bit overwhelming with how much was there. And then with seeing other people's timelines and like what they saw, there were so many things I still missed. Like that I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I wish I knew about that, and it was like a huge, like oh, it's like a actual spring reverb, like the tall, almost like a pillar. That I
Mhm.
think it was Oliver by Death by Audio was posted. I think he was playing, and it was like really interesting contraption practically. And I was like, I would have loved to have played that.
Yeah, totally. This week's episode of Get Offset is brought to you by Moog Music. Moog instruments continue to inspire artists and listeners around the world. As music technology continues to evolve, the company and its employee owners carry on Bob Moog's devotion to creating innovative tools designed for the musician. Moog Music's latest venture is a reimagining of some of its most influential analog instruments of the past for today's audio production workflow. The Moogerfooger Effects Plug-ins are compatible across all major DAWs on Windows and Mac OS, making the Moog sound more accessible than ever. I use the MF108 Cluster Flux, a flexible processor that can modulate between chorus, flanging, and vibrato in the background track you're listening to right now. I love this effect. It's probably the most used of the plugins. For me personally, I even use it in a recent recording project. Learn more about the Moogerfooger Effects plugins by clicking the link in the video or podcast description or by visiting software.moogmusic.com. That's software.moggmusic.com. So, once again, thank you so much to Moog. Please check out the video description or the show notes for a link to learn more about that suite of plugins from Moog. Again, I know the ad is over, but I use them a lot, and I just I think they're some of my favorite plugins, probably my most used plugins after the Benson, um, Chimera mixed wave plugin.
It's
And I guess, Benson had some new pedals and things at the LA Vintage booth. We didn't talk about that. I didn't get to play them, but I s go over, say hey to Chris. I hope to see him this week. I'll be in Portland to see the Hold Steady. But,
cool.
so I guess there's another fuzz that's fuzzier. I saw
Yep.
heard about a delay. Um,
Yes.
I can't remember if there was another one.
I don't know if there was another one, but of course I zero focused in on the delay,
Yeah.
predictably.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've
That
I've
was
been
so
hearing
great.
about that delay for a while. I know that's not it's not ready, but I'm really happy
I'm
that
excited. Yeah.
it's made progress. And hopefully we'll be out,
Hopefully
soon and we can
sometime in
all
the
get to play.
summer. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, at some point.
Mhm. Yeah, that's kind of the um that's the theme of NAMM every year is people make jokes that says not available, maybe May. Um
Maybe someday.
Yeah, like Donner had this smart guitar that's not available yet. We saw that at the
Oh, yeah,
media
I saw
preview
that.
day.
Mhm.
It has like a light up fretboard, which I can see that being helpful. I
Yeah.
I think you should strive to learn the fretboard without like seeing
Having
dots and
l
lights and
light
stuff.
bright,
But
yeah.
yeah, but what I thought was really cool about it is that when you can play something and it can create a tab of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that
So it
was
has
so cool.
so it has memory, like, let's say if you're playing something, it has memory, I guess, of touch and therefore make a tab out of it?
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think it
Oh,
actually
that's
notates
crazy.
anything, but I
Yeah.
was just thinking about how, like, for jam sessions, if you're just kind of like, say you have the chord progression out, you're trying to like write some riffs or write some
Yeah.
solos or write melodies or anything like that to be able to actually not just capture that audio and can go back and listen to it, but just more quickly find the exact notes you played. Or if you have a band member and you're like, this is the part that you should play, you can just shoot that over to them. They talked about using it for students and teachers, and things like that. But I'm just thinking from like part of the writing process, the collaborative process, just speeding that up because I've used lots of software and things to create tabs. Some things work better than others. Ultimately, despite trying some other things, I think going into Ultimate Guitar, some creating a new tab and then just keeping it private is the best way to make tabs for me. And it's a pain in the ass. It is such a pain in the ass. But um I really want to try that. I really, really want to see how that works because everyone tries to make some guitar of the future, but that
Yeah.
was maybe the coolest like tech thing I've seen in a guitar like that. It's like other shit I care less, but,
Mhm.
that
It
I'm really interested in. I think that could actually be useful. I think that actually solves a problem that really exists instead of solving a problem that no one's ever complained about
cares,
because
yeah.
you're a tech bro, not a guitar person. You look for a problem to solve without really understanding your audience. And I am kinda talking about one specific brand, but it doesn't matter. By the way, did you hear that Chaos Audio was at NAMM this year?
Yes, 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 yes.
So, when we first talked about Chaos Audio, I'm not even sure you were on the podcast yet,
No,
but
no, I wasn't, but I
it's
listened.
it's just another one of those pedals where you load effects onto it and from, like, a library, and I don't know if you can change between them, if there's, like, presets. That wasn't our beef with the company, other than I do think that's a
Huh.
dangerous idea and that what happens when and it's a win for it is win. It's not even if your business doesn't fold, which it might because a lot of startups do,
Mm,
how
yeah.
are people's devices could potentially age out of this. What if someone has an old phone and you just decide to stop supporting it one day because it costs too much money to support shit that old?
Yeah.
Then they're stuck with a brick or they have to buy a new phone. It's just like that kind of stuff because it
Yeah, I
is
don't like that, yeah.
at some point for some customers, even if you're the most successful product company, like guitar product company in history, if that is how your stuff works,
Yeah.
it will it will have a failure someday. So that's my beef with that. But our biggest beef with them was they had hired someone who's not very well regarded in the industry because of some, alleged practices. Like I can speak from my own experience and say I like bought things from this company that I never received. And
Yeah.
I know
No
lots of people
delivery.
who bought things from this company and they never received them. The company was called Gear Supply Company, and they were very successful by rebranding Everly Rockers and other, you know, no name products. And their slogan was basically that they cut out the middleman. I'm like, but they are literally a middleman. You are taking another product, you're buying it at wholesale price, you're putting new logos on it, and you're reselling it. Completely legal, very fine that a lot of
Yeah.
businesses do this, but it's a lie to say that you're cutting out the middleman in this scenario. You're more of a middleman than Sweetwater at that point.
Shit. Yeah.
So that was part of it. The other thing was, and please forgive me if you've been familiar with the gear industry for a long time. A lot of people don't know this stuff because it
And
did
you're going
happen
over.
like in 2015, 2016, 2017. Uh, they had a Kickstarter launch for guitar pedals. And this is the last Kickstarter I ever gave to because
Mm.
it was just the last time I was willing to have my money push back, push back, push back, no
Yeah, get
delivery.
burned.
Yeah, and I think it's not my favorite thing when companies that are, real companies do Kickstarters for new products. It's one thing to do an Indiegogo to raise money for something very specific and have an already successful company, and you're just like, I just need a
Mhm.
little bit of cash flow. I'd rather go to you than a bank. Rather go to humans than a bank. They, yeah. So basically, there were pedals. They never got delivered. Most of them, maybe 25 got made total. And I don't even
Wow.
think of each effect. I think way fewer than
Ouch.
that.
Yeah,
So,
I remember. Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't get some things that I was supposed to get personally. And there was never any restitution for this. Nobody ever got their money back. They basically, Chaos Audio hired that guy. And so I don't,
Everyone questioned that decision as well.
everyone did. And the owner, I think now he understands how defensive he got about all that. And I think probably how much he really didn't understand the community because Gear
Yeah.
Supply Company made a big name for themselves by putting themselves into these communities, namely worship guitarist communities. That's a lot. That's a big market, man. That's a big market to
It's
then
huge.
go and hire someone who literally robbed from them, and then other people in the community saying stuff like, "Have grace, man. Have grace. Who are we to judge?" That kind of shit. Well, he's robbing you all blind. Not
Uh,
quite, but like he's still stealing from you. Yeah, so that not a great business move. I think he's trying to come back from that, which is admirable.
does he still work with them?
No. The founder works with the company, but the guy from Gear Supply Company apparently not.
Okay. Well, maybe that might be good direction.
Yeah, I think that's a good start. I still I still don't think it's the pedal for me.
No, probably not.
And man, they put one in outer space too, which I always think is like, why would you spend your money doing that?
Yeah, that makes no sense to me either, and it's rather wasteful, really.
I talked to another, now great, now your pedal space junk.
Yeah, always gonna, turn into a meteor. A meteor.
Dude,
Just
like are we paying money for the privilege of littering in outer space? Oh my god, we are.
next SpaceX mission.
Oh, yeah, space junk, dude. It's a real thing.
You
And
can't hear
now
tone in space.
oh my god, I know, like, one of Elon Musk's cars is space junk. I talked to another guitar company at NAMM, they were sending a guitar into space. I
Why?
Why? You're not even the first person who's done this stunt. Like, what? It's a stunt. So, I don't I'm getting into my marketing brain. I just don't think it's a
Yeah,
good idea.
why? Don't anybody getting that? Yeah, don't. Don't, please
Don't do
don't.
it, man. Don't
Do it.
litter. Don't pay, like, a lot like, how I'm gonna Google
How
this,
much
fuck it.
money like, how much money are we shipping a pedal into space
How
for?
much money does
Do you
it
know how
cost
many
to send something
how many kids could
thing
have guitars with that kind of money?
I know, just give it to a
You
kid.
give it to a kid.
Oh my god. Send my stuff to space.com is a website,
No, God,
and
why?
this is just a Google featured snippet, so maybe this is
Mhm.
correct. It costs $10,000 to put a pound of payload into Earth orbit.
But why? Like, does not
Why?
compute, but why? Like $10,000, even also like a startup pedal company. Why are you throwing $10,000 to space when you probably should put that towards making a good product? Like, what?
It looks like
Someone has too much money on their hands.
it looks like it might cost 1,000 with SpaceX. Hey, it's Emily, the editor of the podcast here. I looked it up and it looks like Chaos Audio actually sent their pedal into space via something like a weather balloon. This is much more affordable, and you generally attach a GPS unit to whatever you're sending up into the stratosphere, and then you go pick it up later. So, yeah, much more affordable, not contributing to space junk. Still, just a marketing stunt, harmless. But
It
it's
that doesn't make
10,000
it
with
any better.
NASA. It doesn't really, man. Is that why Elon Musk wants to send shit into space so he can dump it there?
Oh, wait, then he'll have, like, a whole garbage cleaning, like he'll be the
He's
one to
creating he's
facilitate that.
he's creating jobs.
He is! See? There it is. We have found the reason
I
why.
figured it out. Oh
Creating
my god.
jobs in space, in Mars, somewhere.
It's very lucrative. I dude, I wouldn't pay $5 to send something to create space garbage.
No.
$1,000 per pound of the payload. You think about the guitar was probably about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I
No. No,
I
not
don't
gonna
think
do
this
that.
person hires demo artists either, and I have to tell you,
No.
you could buy a lot of demo artist time
Yes,
for
they could have.
$10,000, and people would actually who play guitar would actually see it.
Yeah, not whatever's floating in space. Oh my
This is a
god.
guitar advertised only to Tesla employees. It's available only to Tesla employees. $250 deposit, just like the cars.
Where no one can hear your tone in space.
Oh, dude. I think you just unlocked it.
I know.
Space, where no one can
Space.
hear your tone.
No one can hear your clean tone.
Oh my god. Oh, I wanna talk about
But
the
yes.
Heather Brown Electronicals
Yes.
Spirit in the Sky.
That
It
sounds so
is
good.
it is a fuzz and it is a tremolo. You can turn the tremolo on or off. But the fuzz is either there or not. But it could be completely clean because there's a clean blend and a boost on the clean channel. And the tremolo has rate depth controls, and you can go from sine to square wave and pretty much anywhere in between. But what I think is the coolest thing about this pedal is along with the clean blend, you can choose which channel the tremolo is on, because the clean and the dirty, they go in parallel, not in series. So you can
Hmm,
pick where it land.
that's pretty
And
cool.
that can create some really cool textures. I think the more like normal kind of sound thing to do would be to have the tremolo with the fuzz. But when you put it on the clean, it it creates a very subtle weirdness. And like the whole preset that she has for that is called subtle weird. And at first I was like, "Well, I yeah, you can't place what's weird about it." But what I think it is that
Mm,
you're used to hearing, like, the tremolo after the fuzz, you're not used to hearing it on the clean because normally you would do, like, a wet dry kind of
yeah.
rig if you're getting, like, that sort of effect, but then that would be part that you're it's like a wet wet, but 2 different wets in a little bit of a way. So, then they converge at the end. It's hard to explain, but I
It's
think it's
still
just like
really great.
yeah, it's just not what you expect, and, I gotta say that's my favorite pedal I've played in a while. Like, not even for lack of other good pedals, but it was fun, it was exciting, and I've played, like, a bunch of cool, exciting pedals lately, like, it's it's been bountiful out there, but this Spirit in the Sky, man, it's killer. She nailed it with this one.
Yeah, I remember when we were in NAMM, like, you get talking about it in passing and being excited about it, and, also in watching, like, when the demos, like, came out, I saw yours, and, of course, I saw the other one that came out, and it
That's
really
Andy
was
Andy Martin, we can
yeah.
say. He's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, it was 80. No, it was great. At least from yours, I remember mentioning it. I could definitely hear in one of the passings of the effects and the settings that you had it at, I could definitely hear Pepper from, like, Butthole Surfers, and, like, in some of the fluctuation of the fuzz and the tremolo and the pacing that it had, and I was like, "Oh, it sounds very similar to that." And in Andy's demo, I definitely heard, like, Heavy by Collective Soul at one point, the way the fuzz and the tremolo kind of came in. It was really short and quick, and I was like, "Oh, you could really get some good stuff, with that." So I
Yeah.
was like, "Yep, I am adding this to my list that keeps changing order, but my long list
Fair.
that just keeps yeah."
No, I mean, it's a killer pedal, I I plugged it in before NAMM just to make sure
Mhm.
it worked, and
Yeah.
I was super busy and should not have been dicking around with stuff. I spent an embarrassing amount of time playing it, and I was like, "Oh, man, I really should have been doing pretty much anything else right now," but I had a lot of fun procrastinating with this thing unintentionally. So, Spirit in the Sky, it's available only on Reverb. There's a general Reverb affiliate link in the video description. Use it if you want. I get a little bit back, but not a lot. So, always appreciate it when someone uses the affiliate links.
Thank you.
Always understand when they don't. And I don't judge you either way. Wow.
Mhm.
I have sold $49 in stuff on Reverb today.
Hmm,
Okay.
thumbs up.
I get 48 cents of that, 49 cents of that.
Mm,
That's okay.
that's
I
all.
mean, listen, Reverb can't do as big of an
No.
affiliate rate because they don't have as big of
No,
a
of
profit
course.
margin. So as far as like a percent of what they're sharing with me, it's kind of a lot of the percent that they get. So I'm not going to complain about it. It is
Mhm.
always nice to see people using these tools. Yeah, cool. Well, I think I've talked about NAMM as much as I can talk about NAMM.
I think the only one thing remaining, I guess, that I could mention about NAMM is, uh, I have been looking at pickups for quite a bit because,
Oh.
the Freya is pretty much, I'm waiting for that to be made by Meredith, so I needed to look at pickups. So I kind of narrowed it down that I wanted to get some rail hammers. So in going to NAMM, I know they had Reverend guitars there, and I wanted to try the Z1s. I was able to try it, and yeah, I definitely am going to go with those, and I'm excited because Meredith just told me she has started putting the body together for my Freya, so I'm excited.
Nice. You're gonna love
Haven't
it.
seen it yet, but I'm excited.
I was playing mine a lot yesterday. I think I'm gonna play it at the gig on May Fest. So if you're in Seattle and you want to go to a festival, I'm playing with Carly Calbero May 5th at the Crocodile Belltown Bloom. Come see me there. If you're going to be seeing the Hold Steady in Portland this week, so am I. Come
Nice.
say hi and go to the Saturday thing. I hear it's going to be really great. Tad and Steve are giving a talk. They're going to nerd out about guitar stuff with you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But, yeah, that's all I have. Thanks again, Joe. Thanks for coming to NAMM with me. I'm sorry your trip
No, thanks for
back
having.
was a nightmare,
No,
but
yep.
yep,
I'm
you
alive. I'm alive.
you're alive. Here you are.
I'm alive.
Well, thanks again to Moog and to everybody out there. Thanks for watching and or listening.
Thanks for understanding and thanks for all your support. We really appreciate it. And till next time.
Yeah, until next time, my name is Emily. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/get offset, merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. Super chats are cool. Thankses are cool.
High
Nothing
fives.
is also cool. Affiliate links especially cool. Please use those. Yeah, until next time, my name is Emily.
I'm Joan of Heart.
Goodbye.
Be seeing you.